The area today, make sure you keep that umbrella handy, not just this evening, but throughout the rest of your week. We're on your side with when you can possibly see a better chance for a break in the rain.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And a lot of rain out there today. This video sent in from Shane Ledbetter of the rain really coming down there around Montclair Road and Crestwood. This comes as heavy showers cross the area, and this is creating some localized flooding conditions, Tania. And as we begin Weather Extra right now, we do have some flood advisories across the area.
Yeah, and listen, Wes, I was just out on those roadways, so even spots not including that flood advisory, there are really some major trouble spots on those roads.
Yeah, you get the higher rainfall rates this time of the year. You know, in the wintertime, it can rain half a day, you pick up maybe a quarter inch of rain, but this time of the year it rains 15 minutes. You end up, we had Alan Gillespie, a viewer, he reached out to me on social media, said, Wes, I'm in Argo, we picked up 3 inches of rainfall. Wow. So that's the kind of rain that we're seeing in those areas. But let's go right to the views out there just to show you, as Tania was noting, some wet roads. Give yourself plenty of drive time out there for this evening. You know what we say, lights on, wipers on, and make sure you keep plenty of distance there between you and that vehicle in front of you out there on those roads tonight. 73 degrees, a live look from Pinnacle Motorsports and Bessemer, a live look from Bluff Park Diner, and you can see the visibility there from, this is right there high atop Shades Mountain, and it is just almost down to almost just no visibility there, as you can see as we look to the north. That's towards Oxmoor Valley, and then Brookwood Baptist Medical Center 75, and folks there traveling on some very wet roads, as you can see all around the Birmingham area at this time. And more rain continues to track in from the east or west, and that's what we got to watch, moving west to east across our coverage area. You start to get that training, and we could end up with some more flooding issues. This is a flood advisory that does include Hoover. So watch out for some of those trouble spots, Vestavia Hills, especially where we have that heavy runoff, some of those valleys across the coverage area. Bessemer, a lot of rain still happening, and it is pouring right there as we were looking at that camera there from Bessemer south towards McCalla, right there at Pinnacle Motorsports. But let's take it further north, and the aerial flood advisory does include Moody. This goes until 8:15 this evening. We also have some flood advisories until 9 p.m. This is not a flash flood warning, but we're just concerned about just isolated trouble spots out there. Most of this is a lot of light rain around Margaret, around Trustful, Leeds at this time, but heavy stuff as you move further north. That's kind of rain where, yeah, you better have an umbrella when you step out of the car in those areas. You'll get soaked in no time. Morrisville and Bynum, some light rain over towards Sax and Anniston, just light and steady. It's cool. It's feeling kind of tropical out there with all the humidity, and also temperatures in the 70s at this point with the clouds and the rain today. Some heavier storms further south. I was tracking around Able and points down towards Needmore. You get down into Clay County. There was a strong storm that we're tracking across Sylacauga. Still seeing some pop-ups in West Alabama, but one thing you notice is as we look further west, back into Pickens County, there's more storms and showers developing, so that's going to continue moving east. So this will be off and on, it looks like, for a couple of more hours at least, but there was a nasty storm over Sylacauga. Look at all the lightning with this thing. So certainly one of the stronger storms of the day. Not severe, but certainly some intense lightning. I know folks there are hearing those loud rumbles as storms move through, and that's one location there, Sylacauga. We've had rainfall estimates in that part of the coverage area topping 6 inches since last week, so we've had a lot of rain. Certainly wouldn't take long for some trouble spots to develop in those areas. Showers and storms will be likely, not only what we're seeing right now through tomorrow, another good chance Thursday and Friday, although the rain chances will start to back off as we go into the weekend. And just a friendly reminder, as I said, just be careful out there tonight with those wet roadways out there traveling. We're seeing a lot of delays around the Birmingham area. And we're going to talk more about temperatures. I think we start to heat up a little bit this weekend. And then the long range, we may see another stormy pattern like this come around towards the middle of next week. But as we've seen heavy rain this evening across central Alabama, now we go to meteorologist Matt Daniel joining us with an updated look at the outlook for excessive rainfall, where we could see that increased risk for flooding.
We've had a lot of rain over this past month. Of course, we had that drought build in parts of June, and so far, not including what we're going to see today, we've already seen over 3 inches of rain in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. But what's really interesting to look at is Anniston's recorded over 7.5 inches of rain alone this month, and we could pick up even more than that. So that's the area east of Alabama that's more prone to see maybe some flooding as we go into the next several days. But on average, we'll pick up 4 to almost 5.5 inches of rain. July is typically one of our wetter months of the year. Now, the Storm Prediction Center, NOAA, the Weather Prediction Center, they issue these excessive rain outlooks to sort of highlight areas that have that higher chance to see some flooding. We're not seeing anything in the red or purple, so that's good, but we definitely see a slight or small risk for flooding in parts of Jackson, Louisiana, and Texas today. What I want to show you, though, is tomorrow's chance for excessive rain, and notice they're highlighting East Alabama. Those are the spots that picked up a decent amount of rain over the past week or two, and so that's one threat that we have to watch for today, tomorrow, and even going into parts of Thursday into Friday for some heavy rainfall. And that excessive rain, that small risk, shifts a little bit farther to our east as we go into Thursday. So let's talk about flash flooding in rural areas. You got rural impacts. Excessive rain raises those streams and river levels, and water can overflow and cause flash floods. So if you live in a very easily flood-prone area, of course you need to monitor the forecast and have that plan to get to a higher ground just in case something happens. Once again, we're not looking at a high risk for flooding, but that risk remains low. So we'll watch it for you over the next several days. Of course, the WBRC First Alert weather app will also monitor it. And we'll also have to watch flash flooding in urban areas. Water can penetrate the soil easier than the pavement, and sometimes you get excess rain or you get those storm drains clogged up, and you can get some flooding, especially in some of those flood prone areas that we see in and around Birmingham, and also in Vestavia Hills. I know for sure gets flooding numerous times when we get heavy rainfall events. So we'll be watching these impacts. Of course, overall, this is all good news for us because we need the rain and we need to get rid of the drought that has developed over the past month.
Really nice to see those triple-digit heat levels backing off, and many times, when you look at June, July, and August, July is actually our wettest month of the summer season. We pick up a lot of rain this time of the year, but we certainly appreciate that report, Matt. And even though the tropics are looking quiet right now, the National Weather Service here in the Birmingham area, well, they're still preparing for an active hurricane season. Meteorologist Shinty Rodriguez caught up with Gerald Satterwhite, National Weather Service meteorologist here in Birmingham, who says they're going through regular procedures, and this includes doing simulated situations in which they test the process on issuing the tropical storm or hurricane advisories. But even though they're working to make sure they're ready to keep central Alabama safe, he also says there are some things we can do at home, of course, to be better prepared.
We always recommend people have several days of food and water on hand, have a way that you can charge your cell phone, so maybe you can invest in a battery pack and that sort of thing, so you're able to communicate before, during, and after a storm. We usually do escape major impacts here in central Alabama, but as we saw several years ago with Hurricane Zeta, sometimes those systems can bring very strong and damaging winds well inland.
Certainly can. We think back to hurricanes like Frederick, Opal. We know all the tree damage and the wind damage that they produced as they move well inland. We had some very strong wind gusts with those systems. But the peak of hurricane season is still a way out there. It's September the 10th, and the last day of the hurricane season is the last day of November. So still a lot of time ahead, and never hurts to be prepared. Right, Tania?
Yes, Wes, never hurts to be prepared. But around the world, check this out. A hydrothermal explosion was confirmed in Yellowstone National Park in the Biscuit Basin area around 10 this morning. This means there was a rapid ejection of boiling water, steam, mud, and rock fragments. Some damage was reported, and the area around the incident is temporarily closed to the public due to safety concerns. Officials say there do not appear to be signs of imminent volcanic eruption. And taking you across the world now, a raging wildfire forcing the closure of Canada's most popular national park and the evacuation of over 4,000 people. Jasper National Park bringing in over 2 million visitors just last year. Dry and breezy conditions are expected before a chance of showers arrive Thursday that may help firefighters knock out some of those flames. At least 170 wildfires are tearing through the province of Alberta, with over over 5 million areas scorched in Canada already this year. Well, I wanted to talk more about that, but this comes as Sunday was marked the hottest day in recorded history. That's according to preliminary data from a climate tracking agency monitoring temperatures since the mid-1900s, It's the second consecutive year average global temperatures have smashed climate records for heat. This year's record comes as El Nino is disappearing and transitioning to its cooler La Nina phase. But don't go anywhere. In 30 seconds, we take a quick check on your radar, plus take you across the globe to how the weather could potentially impact the Olympic Games this year. We'll be right back. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. A quick check on our radar. Still seeing some heavy rain in parts of central Alabama. Look at all this red you see here on the screen. Torrential downpours on Highway 280. I know this is a highly trafficked area around this time, so if you're over towards Abington Green, down on Highway 280, please take your time. There have been multiple times for heavy rain to pour down on those roads, so you want to give yourself some extra drive time out there this evening. And as we look at the next 2 hours, we've got heavy rain tracking over towards Coal City and Tanyard within the next 2 hours. This can really happen before, so just giving you that first alert. As we look at our rain coverage for this evening, notice that all of central Alabama still has a great chance for on and off rain chances throughout late tonight. We'll likely get some breaks as we approach the overnight hours, but more showers and storms in the forecast again for your Wednesday afternoon and evening. We'll have a full look at that 7-day forecast right here on Weather Extra in just a bit. Wes?
Hey, the Paris Olympics are just days away and preparations are finishing up, but there's one major concern for organizers. It's the heat, and meteorologist Derek Van Dam has more on that story.
The Olympics are about to kick off in Europe's most vulnerable city to heat. Extreme weather fueled by increasing temperatures may be one of the event organizers' toughest challenges. While rain could postpone the events, heat waves threaten spectators and athletes in this city. This device detects heat using infrared. The yellows are the hottest, the purples are the coolest, something meteorologists will be watching closely. CNN spoke exclusively with a meteorologist responsible for monitoring incoming severe weather and advising the Olympic Committee on potential impacts.
So we have something I can show you here. We have really hot summers that we never had before the 21st centuries in Paris.
This year's games will take place around the same period of the year as France's most lethal heat wave in 2003.
It was the worst event we had in France overall, and especially in Paris here. Paris is vulnerable because we have a very big urban heat effect.
Because Paris is such a densely populated city, heat is amplified by various surfaces like asphalt, concrete, and even buildings. While Olympic athletes strive to break records, our own planet is breaking records too, as 2023 was Earth's hottest year ever, with 2024 on track to be even warmer.
And what I see is a concerning trend of more frequent extreme heat and longer lasting heat.
While extreme heat is just one element monitored here, forecasters from Meteo France will use an arsenal of tools to warn of any incoming severe weather.
It's like rain detection at street level.
This little-known device could determine whether or not an Olympic event is postponed or canceled. It is the mobile radar that measures rain in real time, so Meteo France forecasters can advise the Olympic Committee.
If the threshold for a given sport is exceeded, postponement or calendar adaptation or the worst cancellation could happen.
Heavy rain already postponed an opening ceremony rehearsal on the Seine as the river was flowing too quickly. The last time Paris hosted the Olympics in 1924, the French capital was 5.5 degrees cooler than it is today, helping fuel the climate with more extreme weather. 2024 is certainly on track to rewrite both the climate and Olympic history books. Derek Van Dam, CNN, Paris.
Well, still ahead, we're going to bring it back home, talk about how these temperatures are going to settle up for the rest of the week, and also a lot of rain that we're tracking out there. We have some flood concerns in a few areas. We'll update you on what we're seeing on radar and rain chances for the rest of the week. It is a stormy evening here on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us. And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. A lot of rainfall out there. These are strong storm advisories that you can see here across East Alabama. I just want to zoom in, folks, here around Ashland, Lineville areas, giving you the first alert. A strong thunderstorm is moving in. It's not to the severe level, but we could have some 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts, intense lightning, locally heavy rainfall. And further north, we're still watching those flood advisories that we're seeing. But most of the lightning, you see where it's hotter to the south. We haven't seen quite as much rain, but that steadier rain cooling things off to the north. And it's going to continue here. The rainfall rates have backed off some around the Birmingham area, just covered up here. You can see all the way to Pinson and Palmerdale areas north, and also down into northern Shelby County, right there around the summit, Highway 280. You can still see a lot of rain happening. Folks out here driving on 459 out towards Liberty Park and Overton Road, you can see it really hasn't let up. And further south, of course, we're watching those strong storms around Lineville, lighter rain around Anniston, over into West Alabama. Still seeing some development here, some scattered showers. So this is going to continue well into the evening. I mentioned Anniston. We'll go in for a closer look, and just enough to keep those roadways wet out there. So take it slow, take it easy for this evening. Further north around Coleman, been watching these areas. You can see some rain. Let's go into Hamilton here, actually right there into Let's go back to that view and we'll zoom into Hamilton, show folks here in Marion County what we're tracking. Certainly nothing severe, but not seeing lightning with this, just some steadier rain that's happening there. As we look at the setup tomorrow, there's going to be another chance for storms, much like what we're seeing today. Big coverage happening. We have a very moist southwest flow aloft across the area, and that's going to generate those showers and storms. And looking at the rain chance over the next 6 days here, we will start to see high pressure taking over by Saturday and into Sunday. So what happens with that ridge building in? We're still going to have the building heat during the day. It's going to be very muggy. There will be scattered storms, but rain chances will be lower as we go into the start of next week. So a wet, stormy evening, and again, some showers and foggy weather could be around early tomorrow morning, but I do think the better chance for storms will be again tomorrow during the afternoon. As you can see on our First Alert 7-day forecast, backing off on those rain chances some for the weekend. Still can't promise it's going to be a completely dry weekend. Saturday and Sunday, we'll certainly need to keep our eye to the sky, and especially having a chance to heat up, that risk will go up, a bit more unstable. Could see some strong to severe storms popping up during the afternoon, and early next week get those highs there closer to 90 degrees again. So that heat builds for the weekend. But as we go to meteorologist Michelle Tania, I was looking at next week. You and I were talking about we might trend a little bit drier going into Monday, but it looks like the pattern may go stormy again by the middle of next week.
Yeah, Wes, I hate to say it. We might get a little bit of a break, but it doesn't look like it's going to stay around for too long. Still holding on to possibility for showers and storms mainly throughout your afternoon and evenings. As we look beyond the 7 days, 6 to 10 days out from now, July 29th through August 2nd, as we look across the U.S., some of those central states and far western states, the Midwest, could be dealing with more below average, and then some of our Midwestern states above average or near average. But across the Southeast, still going to be dealing with a good chance for showers and storms, above average rainfall as we head into the end of this month and early start for your month of August. As far as those temperatures, though, looking across the nation, most states dealing with above average temperatures, but that doesn't include us here across the Southeast. Matter of fact, it looks like some southern portions of Texas dealing with below average temperatures, whereas we're right where we usually are at this time of the year, more near average as far as those highs and lows. As we look at those rain chances in the days ahead, still looking at a very unsettled weather pattern. Yes, rain chances lighten up as we head into this weekend, but beyond this weekend, the 29th of this month, still looking at some moisture across our state and really across the Southeast. On and off rain chances cannot be ruled out even into the 30th and the 31st. That's a Wednesday of next week. Still looking at some showers for our northern states. So just giving you that first alert. You want to make sure that you're staying up to date and checking in for updates between now and then. But extreme heat still impacts many parts of the country and the world. Those who are pregnant are especially vulnerable to these effects. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to an OBGYN about what every pregnant person should know during a heat wave.
Extreme heat and pregnancy. It's not just uncomfortable, but also potentially dangerous.
Pregnant women are at increased risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke due to the fact that there's a lot of physiologic changes that causes differences in blood flow in their bodies.
Dr. Catherine Caponero, an OBGYN with Cleveland Clinic, says not only can extreme heat be harmful to the person who's pregnant, it can also cause complications for the developing fetus.
So trying your best to do all that you can in your control in order to stay cool and to keep your body healthy is really important for your pregnancy.
To stay safe in the heat, Caponero says try to stay inside during the hottest times of the day. If you do go out, wear light-colored clothing in layers to help keep you as cool as possible. Check the air quality index. Breathing polluted air can cause harm to pregnant people. And finally, stay hydrated. Caponero recommends consuming between 8 and 12 glasses of water a day.
A lot of pregnant women can't tolerate straight water, so sometimes flavoring that with fruits or even a splash of juice can be really helpful.
Since you know your body best, Caponero says if something doesn't feel right in the summer heat, talk to a doctor.
Making sure that you are watching yourself, taking care of yourself, and listening to your body is one of the best things that you can do as a pregnant patient.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Great tips there, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on First Alert Weather Extra, sharing some of your viewer photos. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.
And welcome back into Weather Extra. Tania, a lot of rainfall out there today, and this has certainly been the day with the greatest coverage that we've seen in a little while.
Absolutely. So by the time we look at that drought monitor on Thursday, hopefully it's a lot different.
Yeah, a lot different. You know, it was interesting yesterday. We were showing some of those maps, and it said areas to the northwest we may not need to water today. Certainly no need. But hey, a lot of rain. We'll continue to track this for you. Check the First Alert weather app. We're getting some flood advisories, and we'll have more radar updates tonight starting at 9.
Have a good evening. See you guys then.
I gave him a shout out. He said, got it. My 98-year-old World War II veteran father-in-law even heard it in the hospital room. Thanks.
Oh, that's so cute. All right, it's coming up here in just a second. Here we go. I'm ready. In 3, 2. Hey there, everyone. First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle here with that 7-day forecast. We are still watching showers and storms over the next couple of days. Rain chances do let up a little bit as we head into the weekend, but still going to hold that possibility for an isolated storm or widely scattered showers across the area. Temperatures as we bring in your Wednesday and Thursday, topping out in the 80s, staying in the 80s as we approach your weekend, but we could see those low 90s sneaking back for us as we bring in next week around Monday. Overnight temps in the 70s. Fairly mild as we bring in those overnight hours, but through the rest of this week, make sure you have the rain gear, the umbrella and the rain jacket, maybe even the rain boots. If you're looking for forecast updates, you can find them by downloading the WBRC First Alert weather app or checking in with us on WBRC Fox 6 News.